welcome back to my channel. This video originally was supposed to be about colorism. I did a poll on Instagram and Facebook to see what you guys wanted me to talk about, and colorism was the top subject. Now that was about 3 weeks ago, and obviously I never posted the video because it's a touchy subject. I never want anyone to feel like I'm talking bad about the Black community. I don't ever want people to feel like I'm talking bad about light-skinned people or dark-skinned people or the whole colorism deal. I try to think of ways that I can get the message out without offending anyone, and I just could not, come up with the words to say about that topic. So I decided to wait it out, to get my thoughts together and, try to bring it to you as best I could. But obviously that never happened. So today I was going to record a video about it. But as I was driving home, I just had all these thoughts in my head about the recent tragedy with Nipsey Hussle, and I decided to talk about that because it has a lot to do with the Black community, and it has a lot to do with our people in general. And I decided that, yeah, that's what I would talk about. So let me first and foremost say that I wouldn't necessarily say that I was a fan of Nipsey Hussle. I never listened to his music, only a few songs, and I couldn't even sing them word for word. But I followed him and Lauren London on Instagram, and I followed some of his teachings and the way that he spoke about life and love and, the hood and just different things. And I just overall, and I know social media is just social media, but I just overall genuinely felt like he was a good guy. Now, usually celebrities' deaths, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, does not really bother me. I never feel a close connection to it. It's just like, oh wow, that's sad. But for some reason, his death really, really bothered me a lot. I don't know why. Like I said, I was not a Nipsey Hussle fan of the music. It was just really him as a person that I thought was a good person. So for it to bother me the way that it did was really shocking, and that's the reason why I decided to do the video, because I was thinking about everything that was surrounded by his death. And then this morning on the radio, it was said that his killer was actually somebody from his community. Now, disclaimer, I'm from the hood, one of the worst hoods there is in North Houston. If you know me personally, you know where I'm from. So I cannot pretend that I'm above the hood or, I don't know, that I'm better or something. But I feel a lot of the downfall of Black people, of the Black community, is the hood mentality. A lot of people say when celebrities get rich, they forget about where they come from, they never come back, and that's fake. Nipsey did the exact opposite of that, and he was killed in his community, in front of the business that he brought to that community. And that's to me is a prime example of why people leave and never come back. I just feel like he was trying, people say buy the block. That's literally what he was doing. Buying the block, bringing jobs to the community, trying to rebuild it. I heard that he was in works to build a low-income housing apartment, and that was taken away by someone from his own community. We sit and talk about police brutality. We talk about how white people hate us, how they try to keep us down, and all of that is true. I'm not taking any of that away. But the fact of the matter is we have to look within ourselves and what we do to each other. It's hard for us to be better as a people when we hate each other so much. It's hard for us to grow as a community when we take away everything that we try to build. I've seen people who I went to school with laid out dead on the concrete, not killed by a white man, not killed by the police, but killed by somebody else that we went to school with. I've seen people build businesses in our neighborhoods only for them to be broken into within 24 hours. I've seen girls who grew up in nice homes be taken so fast by boys from our hoods. It's no way that we can grow as a people if we continue this agenda that was placed in front of us and we're not even paying attention to it. It's laid out for us to hate each other. It's laid out for us to kill each other. And I feel like the killing, the hatred, the crab in a bucket mentality, that's all slave shit. And I don't want to get into preaching or acting like I'm just this woke individual who knows everything about everything. But I know for a fact that we used to love each other. We used to lift each other up, and we used to be close-knit, and we used to be just loving people. But it's gotten to a point where certain people want to be in the in crowd with thugs or gangsters or street niggas or whatever it is, because that's what seemed to be popping. But if I'm being honest, like, the hood ain't never did shit for me but take away all my cousins, all my male cousins. The street ain't never did nothing for me but leave me emotional scars, physical scars. And like I said, I'm not talking down on the hood, because it's what made me the person I am today. And the hood can be a great thing if we allow it to be a great thing. But the way that it is now, it's not good. We can't expect to build if we continue to tear it down. Like, if I open a store in the hood, I don't expect for it to last long. Why? Because somebody is going to break into it. And that's not saying that all people from the hood are bad, but that's just the truth. Like, people wonder why white people or rich people or anybody who's outside of our community are scared to come to our community, and we feel offended that they're scared to visit us. But this is why. Like, I'm from Fifth Ward, but I would never live there. I would never raise my kids there. And that's just the truth. I lived in a project for 6 years. My first apartment was in a project. I lived there for 6 years. When my kids were old enough to go outside and play, I moved. And I moved because I didn't want them to play outside, and that's bad. White people live in their neighborhoods, and they love on each other. They help each other. They have barbecues, and nobody comes back later that day and break in. And I know that we're raised on survival, and we're raised to get it how we live, but we don't necessarily have to live the way that we live. I feel like our mindsets need to be changed. I feel like if we stuck together more than we fought with each other, we'd be a lot better off. I feel like the Black community used to be built on love, built on helping each other, and built on rising above everything that was against us. But now it's built on winning for yourself. But the thing is, when you win at somebody else's expense, you're losing as a whole, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of my words carefully, y'all, because I don't want to get emotional and I don't want to say the wrong things. It's just a lot in my head about this whole situation, and I feel like we're losing, y'all. Like, as a whole, as a community, we are losing. We are at the bottom of the bottom. And being pro-black does not mean growing dreads, and it does not mean going natural, and it does not mean getting Nefertiti tattoos. It does not mean wearing African tribal clothing. It means loving the black community, supporting the black community, protecting the black community, not killing each other, not robbing each other, not stealing from each other, not being jealous of each other, not being envious of each other. We have to love each other a lot more than we do. If everybody in this world hates us, how can we hate ourselves too? Who's going to love us? If everybody in this world killed us, how can we kill ourselves too? We cannot help what other people do. We can't help it. Like, that's them. They have to answer for that when they get to wherever they're going after they leave this life. But if we love each other, if we support each other, we'll be a lot better off, y'all. We are strong people. My stepdad used to tell me all the time, God made only us with this type of hair. And it's because we're special. He didn't give us this hair because we're different. He gave it to us because we're special. We are great people. A lot of the killings and robbings and all of this stuff that happens in our community is because people don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their purpose. They don't believe that they're great. But we are great, strong people, y'all. We can go through anything and come out fighting. And that's not to say that we deserve the shit that we go through, but we go through it, come out stronger and better. I feel like if we believed in ourselves a lot more than we do, we'd be a lot better off, y'all. It's a lot of things that we should focus on as a community that is not talked about a lot. For example, mental health is a huge thing in the black community that's not talked about a lot. A lot of the times people kill people, or people are walking around angry, or people are walking around on drugs, not because they're horrible people, but because their mental health is unstable. I grew up with someone who shall remain nameless, who for the longest I thought was just a mean individual. When I got older, I found out that person had mental health issues. It's real, and it's not taken serious. People say, oh, she's just acting out. Oh, he's just acting out. Oh, they just want attention. No, a lot of people are walking around with PTSD. A lot of people are walking around with bipolar disorders. A lot of people are walking around with schizophrenia. Like, mental health is serious. It needs to be taken serious. People need to take accountability for not getting the help for their kids that they need. Kids are not born bad. A child is not born mean-spirited. These things are instilled into them, or these things stem from mental health issues. Black people need to figure out that we can seek help. We can go to counseling. We can talk to people. A lot of everything that we're taught, we need to be untaught. Everything that we do, we need to unlearn it, because like I said, a lot of things are learned behaviors. This hate towards each other, that's a learned behavior. We watch people hate us, so we hate ourselves. We watch people mistreat us, so we mistreat each other. There's no reason for us to be as strong as we are, as great as we are, to still be at the bottom, y'all. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an activist. It's been great people before me who've done tremendous amounts of work to try to get this problem solved, but it's yet to be rectified. Like, it's virtually impossible. But we have to start somewhere, y'all. Like, love on each other, man. Like, support each other. Stop. You can ask somebody about a job and they won't even give you the information because they don't want you to be better than them. Stop. Somebody can try to open a business, and absolute strangers will support it over people from their own community. We have to stop that. We have to stop it. One thing about it is, if one person gets to the top, we can all follow in that footstep. There's no need to hate or be jealous or not want to support it because you're not where you want to be, or they think they're better, or I don't know. Like, the mentality that we have towards each other is just so bad, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to try to get to the root of it. But I just know that it needs to stop. Like, the hate needs to stop, the jealousy needs to stop. It's a lot of people on my Facebook and Instagram that I know personally. I know them, sat down at the table, have eaten with them, went to school with them, have went out to the clubs, and they will not subscribe to this YouTube channel. And it's not because they're not interested in the content, because they'll watch this content on different platforms, or if it's put out by different people, but they won't watch it simply because it's me. And a lot of the times it's not even intentional. It's just that's built up in your head so far that you don't even notice that your behaviors are affecting your community. Um, we shouldn't have to go outside of our community to find peace. We shouldn't have to go outside of where we grew up or where we were raised to feel safe. We need to bring that safety to our kids, to our friends, to our families. We need to bring that safety to ourselves. We need to find ways to cope with childhood traumas, find ways to cope with PTSD. You don't have to be in the military to have PTSD. You growing up in the hood and seeing your friend get gunned down in the street, that can cause some PTSD. We need to find ways to cope with it. We need to find ways to deal with it outside of being angry, being violent, paying everybody back. You know, you have to look inside yourself, find peace and happiness within yourself, and then that way you can share peace and happiness with other people, y'all. I can ramble on and on all day, and half of it probably would not make any sense because, like I said, I have so many thoughts and so many emotions, and I don't know where to begin to try to halfway solve the problem. But the only thing that I can say is love one another, man. Like, we have to learn to love on each other, be kind to each other, be real with each other, man. A lot of us are going through the same fucking hurt. Like, a lot of us are going through the same type of trauma. A lot of us are just little kids in grown-ups' bodies still dealing with shit that we never even talked about. It's real. We go through the same type of shit, but nobody speaks on it. We have to focus more on love. We have to focus more on mental health. We have to focus more on support and try to get away from that crab in a bucket mentality. Try to get away from the jealous mentality. Try to get away from the hood mentality. Like I said, I love the hood, but the hood ain't never did nothing for me but deprive my son of male role models because they're all in jail. You know, the hood ain't never did nothing but give me a bunch of scars that I still deal with today, and I don't mean physical. You know, it's fine and it's good to be proud of where you're from, but we have to create things that we can genuinely be proud of, and that all starts on a foundation built with love and support. But that's just my opinion, y'all. If y'all like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you.